Greetings, folks. Welcome to another edition of After Hours. Tonight in the virtual pub, I am joined from all the way from Montreal in Quebec, Canada, by Mr. E.L. Giles. How are you doing, sir?
Hi, I'm fine. You?
Yeah, very good. It is Montreal you're in, isn't it?
Nah. Quebec City.
Quebec City. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm an idiot. I knew it was Quebec.
Quebec, it's Quebec. It's all
there
right.
There you go. It's a huge province, but you know, it's still there.
The province, you mean? Oh, that's not right.
Yeah.
So small.
Oh, this started well. Anyway, yeah, no, it's I've been meaning to get you on for a while because amongst other things, we both share a love of weird fiction and the cosmic horror and all that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, first and all.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll probably get into that in a bit. First off, you have just recently released a novella with Breaking Rules Europe called 6 Days to Hell.
Yes.
How's that going?
Happy about it, honestly. Yeah. I think it's probably the work I'm the proudest of. Put a lot of work on it, and
right.
It's a story that was brewing in my mind for 2 or 3 years, and I had a lot of notes on my phone. Actually, all my notes are on my phone, and I waited and waited and waited. I wasn't ready to start writing it yet, and finally, I don't know why, I kept taking note and working on the plot, and finally I decided this is now. This is the time. I started writing it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for it, and that's it. It didn't take long actually to write it. A couple weeks, considering I work full time and have a family and all. So yes.
It's nice when that happens, isn't it? When it just sort of comes out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Sometimes I struggle a lot more to come out with the finished product, but this one came really fast, and I was really happy about it.
Excellent. Yeah, I've seen you've had a lot of good reviews on it and stuff, so that's
so
really
far,
cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Really happy about it.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, no, it's I've got it ready to rock on here. I got a copy from Chris Holtman.
Yeah,
I've got a copy. It's in my queue. I do. I have a bloody queue.
long on the queue beyond.
Oh God, it's
at the end of the line.
No, you're not actually. You're quite high up in it. It's no, it's because I've got a group project that I'm finishing off at the end of the month. So I'm reading everybody's drafts and all the rest of it at the minute. So and there's another project that I'm in that's entered the reading phase. So I've got to read all them as well. It's just like
that must be one of the projects we're both working on, actually, with Chris Banner.
Yeah, no, that's the next. That's the next one on the line.
Didn't start it yet.
No, I've got that. That's all the notes and everything. I've got like I know what I'm doing with that. I just haven't had time to write it yet. It's one of them moments where it's like all the deadlines, they're like buses. They all just come at once, don't they?
Stressing out just thinking about it.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
Too many projects.
Yeah. Right, it's good. I'd rather be stressed out and have things to do, because I'm one of them people that if I don't have like a deadline or anything, I just won't get anything done. I'll just procrastinate and post pictures of octopus and play video games. And just...
That's natural, because you need a deadline.
Yeah.
What's the goal?
Yeah.
Why would I start it now? Wow.
Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Yeah. This is it, isn't it? Last minute. I know so many people who are the same, who are just like, Oh, start it like 2 days before the deadline.
Yes, adrenaline kicks off, and yes,
That's it, isn't it? It's the adrenaline just gets you going.
yes,
Man. Yeah.
that's the best.
Yeah,
Works
so,
best on adrenaline.
Yeah. What's that you're drinking then?
Red ale.
Nice. That's an interesting
It's
one I've not seen before.
It's considered a cheap beer, but
yeah, it does the job, doesn't it? It does the job. It's like this. This isn't exactly. This isn't exactly.
Oh, Grosh, Grosh.
Yeah.
I can't. How is it pronounced?
Grolsch, I think.
Grosh.
Yeah. I think.
Kind of like
anyway,
it.
Yeah.
I miss the time when they did the kind of bottle.
Yeah, the ones with the little.
Yes, the kind of
on the top. Yeah. Yeah, they were great.
The trouble is that all the people who did homemade beer and all just bought their bottles.
Yeah.
Seal their own beer afterwards.
Yeah. No, we did that with with the home brew. You know, stick it in the Grolsch bottles. Yeah. They were
Everyone
great.
on the same bottles.
Yeah, they were great little bottles then. Yeah. So your 6 Days to Hell, that's a dystopian thing, yeah.
Yes, post-apocalyptic dystopian.
Nice.
It wasn't the first time I tackled such kind of stories. I have a series called the Birdman Project, which is also a dystopian series. So it was far from being the first time I wrote one. I wrote a story in Black Air Press. Dang it, wetware.
Yes, wetware.
I think it was. So must be my 5th or 6th or even 7th dystopian story. But I think it's the first time I approached the virus thing.
Right.
And I was unsure about it because with all the COVID-19 thing and all, 2 years ago it was cool. Now when I started it, I was
everyone's bored of viruses now.
Actually, the funny thing is that I watched 12 Monkeys, the movie, and it's one of my favorite movies. Not the series,
I love that
movie.
film, man. I love it. Yeah.
And I was, I must write it. And the virus, the whole pandemic thing is just a background. It's not even related in some part with stories.
Yeah.
It's kind of the world building or whatever. No, the thing is how the main character survive, and it's all about redemption.
Nice.
More than just there's a pandemic, people are dying.
Yeah.
People are already dead. So.
Well, that's the thing with dystopian, isn't it? It's about how the characters deal with this nightmare more so than the nightmare itself.
There's a lot of I'm writing genre of about dystopian, like the chosen one, and I will save humanity and all blah blah.
Right.
Blah, but I didn't want to start in that trope, so no. I rarely write about a main character that's kind of the hero. I don't.
I like idiots. I write about because but they're believable, aren't they? Yeah, you're anti-heroes. You hapless idiots who accidentally save the day.
Sure.
Yeah,
you and I, normal guy. How the normal guy will? How will he act? How will he face such problem, such event, or whatever?
Yeah,
he's not a superhuman. He doesn't have special talents. He's just like you and I.
Yeah.
What would
some
you and I
from
do?
down the pub? Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's my take on it. I don't like hero characters.
Nah.
Like your traditional heroes. I find it really boring. It's just
it's always the same. And so you probably read like I did. The Divergent series or the other one, Young Adult. How's it called? Younger Games.
Hunger Games, yeah.
It's okay. It's a good read. But it's the promised one or the kind of not so much about Hunger Games. It's less evident or pronounced.
But it's funny because like the Hunger Games and that, I prefer like the incidental characters.
Yeah.
You know, the little idiots that end up doing good. You know, I prefer that than the main plot line. That's kind of dull. You know, I like the plot arc of the the TV executive that
the whole thing was cool. The kind of it was like modern Gladiator finally.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a more modern take on things like The Running Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I like the idea,
a great movie. I love that.
Yes, movie. Whatever.
Yeah,
it's a great read, but not the kind of read I like to. Not the kind of writing I like to experiment. I prefer, and you will understand probably, kind of writing Lovecraft or whoever else did. Normal guy facing strange, weird, and unconceivable events and monsters and whatever.
Well, that's it. I mean, that's where all my characters sort of come from, that same thing, because it's like the Lovecraft. There wasn't heroes. It was like some, bookish professor
at the Miskatonic University or whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
This is it. Yeah. Some student accidentally reads the Necronomicon, all that kind of business,
Yes, and
Carter and all that. They weren't heroes. They were just
And I remember your character in the Spiffing or
your
most recent one, the Creeping Void, and they're a normal guy with limited knowledge in a Creeping Void with limited knowledge of technology, facing something that came out of nowhere with absolutely no clue how to deal with. That's perfect.
Yeah. Well, that's something because we wanted to bring up because we're both in this little beauty.
Yeah.
That was the other thing with this.
Received it, I think, last week.
Yeah, that was the thing in this. It was just like you sort of. The concept of it, from Ron's concept, it was basically like they're here. The old ones are here now. How the hell would your normal everyday family deal with that?
Exactly.
And I love that kind of thing. That's why I kind of jumped at that when they offered me a spot in it. I just went, yes.
Yeah. And I hear you. And this is exactly why I jumped in the project too, because that's exactly how I like to tackle my stories. You're already in deep shit. So what do you do now?
Yeah. We're already fucked. What do we do now?
You're not trying to save the world. I don't care. Let it rot. Now you have to survive. How do you do it?
Yeah. And I think that's the key with anything like that, like with your dystopian as well as sort of the Lovecraftian and the cosmic horror. It is all about how your everyday random guy would deal with a big tentacled monstrosity on their doorstep. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. And a great example, I think, is at the Mountain of Madness. Mountains, plural. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that story.
Dang. Okay, the part when they explore the underground and the kind of remote city in the ice or whatever. It's kind of a bit long sometime when he explores all the sculpting and the engraving and all. Who cares anyway? It's awesome to read.
Yeah.
But when he faced the kind of blob, how is it
the called? Shoggoth. Yeah.
Yeah, and you put it in your creeping void.
I did. I put one in the bin there.
And I completely. I was like, yes, you did it.
I love Shoggoths, man. I try and put them in wherever I can.
I totally forgot to mention it in my review. Fuck.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Like, yeah. I love them.
Basically, they are on a run and trying to survive, and the trip back on plane.
Wow.
So nice.
Yeah. Well, he looked back and went mad, but what did he see? You know,
exactly.
I love that. You know, that's what I like about Lovecraft's. He didn't explain a lot. He was just leave it to the imagination. Yeah.
That's the beauty, and I feel like nowadays it's a thing that most people they don't like, or they need a lot of explanation because they don't want to, I don't know, think about it or use their imagination. I don't know. I don't explain it, but
yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, there is a lot of people. I mean, I think there's two types of reader, isn't there? There's the type of reader who likes to think about what they're reading, and then there's the type who will read when they're commuting to work.
Yes.
And it's almost like they want it to be almost like a film, which I like. I like books like that as well as the other type, but I think there's a place for both. Of your more sort of throwaway, bang, 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 here's a monster sort of thing. But then you have that stuff with the real creeping dread in it. And that's where like Mountains of Madness is a great example, because that just oozes bloody dread. It's just, from the minute the team goes silent and, you know, and they find all, you know, the dead dogs and all the rest of it, it's just like, what the fuck happened?
And the Mountain of Madness was probably the main inspiration behind Mount Terror, my novelette. And
right, excellent.
Yes, I don't know if you read it yet, but if you did,
not yet, no.
You will certainly you will see all the allusion to a Lovecraft work.
Excellent, yeah. That's another one. I've actually got a copy of that. I've got the little. I've bought the book. It's down there. Yeah, it's in it's down there in my cosmic horror collection over here.
Oh!
So I'll dig it. I'll take a picture of it at some point and show you.
I don't even get a copy myself.
Oh, you know.
Yet.
Nice. No, yeah. Because I'm a hoarder and I collect anything that's sort of the weird fiction, cosmic horror. I've got a massive collection and I just collect it all. Interesting. Like, because something I want to talk to you about as well, because like I said, we're both big fans of Lovecraft, but like me as well, you're also a big fan of some of the other people in the circle and that kind of thing. Yes. And I wanted to bring up one I know is one of your favorites, is Frank Belknap Long.
Yeah, sure. The Hound of Tyndalos.
Exactly.
I got one of his latest work, Journey into Darkness.
Journey into Darkness. Yeah.
Yes, this one. Yeah. It's a cool story.
Yeah.
It's a good story, but the whole thing about the investigation was kind of rushed, but other than that, I think this was a cool story, and this guy has something with angular and geometrical shapes, and
it's the geometry and everything that I like. Yes. It's really interesting. Yeah, likes the way he likes to play with it and stuff.
In the Hound of Tyndalos, which basically lurks in sharp corners, or
I've actually done a Hounds of Tyndalos story. It's going to be in my my collection that's coming out at the end of the year. Yeah, it's
nice.
I've done one. I had to do it. It was just one of my other favorites of Belknap Long's was the Space Eaters. You know,
didn't read this one yet.
Oh, do so. It's brilliant. It's great.
It's funny because right now I'm on an AB book and I'm just shopping Frank Bell like long books along with
pick up if you're
William
looking for a thing. Pick up it's Robert Price edited the Tinderlos Cycle.
Okay.
It's got all of Belknap Long's Cthulhu mythos and related stuff in it. So it's got all the Tinderlos stuff and also his Chorgna Fawn stuff.
Okay.
But it's also got like other people's takes on the Hounds of Tinderlos as well. So it's really well worth. It's really worth it. It's really well worth it.
I think this is probably one of the greatest concepts around the Hound of Tinderlos. Wow. All that you can do with them. You travel through time, through space, through shapes and colors. They are there.
Yeah. If they get you sent, that's it, man.
You can do everything.
Yeah.
And,
it's a terrifying concept, isn't it? It's just a terrifying concept of these predators that lurk outside of our reality. But if they get a scent of you, they can come in through the corner of the room.
This is pure terror, seriously. Yeah. And it was one of the first weird horror story I read.
Right, yeah.
At that time, I was reading Chambers, The Yellow King. And this, yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
I love seriously,
that. Chambers, wow.
I love it. I love the King in Yellow stuff. I've written loads of them now. I bloody love it. It's one of my favorite things ever is that short story collection. The King in Yellow. It's just
Repair of Reputation, the first story in this book. And I was hooked.
Yeah. Repair of Reputation. Wow. Oh, I love that.
The
unreliable narrator, the suicide chambers, the fucking man, so good.
And you really see the French inspiration behind it.
Yes.
In his writing, in his language, and of course in the story itself, and throughout the book.
Yeah, like, Mr. Castaigne and all the rest of it.
Yes, the lady, Lady Diff, or can't remember.
Demoiselle Duise or whatever. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
This one is great, and there's a lot of French terminology and words and all on the.
Well, he did a lot of
guy and all. Can't remember.
He did a lot of French sort of ghost stories and things like that as well, didn't he? Because he was a proper Francophile, wasn't he? He lived
in Paris for a time.
That was it. Yeah. Yes. And because I've read some of his other weird tales that are not like related to the
Romans
King in Yellow, but it's just like it's really good. It's got these very lyrical almost. If you know what I mean.
What I like in writers when they're lyrical, when they are descriptive, and I think one of the greatest, in my opinion, one of the greatest author is Algernon Blackwood.
I love
one of my favorite one.
As a kid, right? I read The Willows when I was very young, right? And my family, one of my uncles had a farm on the River Severn, and the River Severn is basically like covered, like there's willows all along it, right? And I went there just after I'd read it, and it was really windy, and the bloody things were moving about, and I'm fucking terrified.
Perfect, just like in the book.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, I don't like this.
Nice.
Yeah, man. It's
one
of the
Willow and
say what books have ever like scared the shit out of you.
Seriously, I'm waiting for some Algernon books to arrive very soon, I hope.
Nice. So the Wendigo's another classic of his.
I'm currently trying to to buy the entire collection
Mm-hmm.
that was published in the early 90s.
Right.
So I just got one of his anthology of his own works, and I think it's dated from 1926. I think.
Nice.
Hardcover. I can't wait.
That's brilliant. Excellent. Yeah, you'll have to. You'll have to show some
I will
pictures.
picture it and send it to you. And
you will. You'll have to, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Blackwood is another one. He knows how to burrow under your skin. It's like the Willows. It's just. I can't describe it, which is a great thing. I can't really describe it. It just creeps under your skin. It's just you know something is wrong,
but you don't know why yet.
Yeah.
And even when you finally finish reading it, you're like, what just happened?
Yeah. And it's the isolation in it, because they're on that like sandbank.
The isolation, and I think this is the main thing with weird and cosmic art. The isolation, how small one is facing his environment.
Yeah.
What's surrounding him? Him facing nature, him facing space, seas, or whatever.
Yeah. That's what I love about it. It's just, so it makes you feel tiny and insignificant, doesn't it?
Yes, and that's exactly what Lovecraft punched about and talked about and tried to describe in his work how insignificant we are.
Yeah.
And in effect, that's a great thing.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's like the feeling you get when you go out and you look at the sea, and you just see the sheer bloody size of it, and you think of all the life that's under the surface that you can't see, and you know what I mean? It's like
I have a deep fear of water. Seriously, and I think my favorite reads are sea adventures. I mean Poe. I mean Le Sphinx des Glaces by dang it. It's a prequel to Poe's the narrative of
Arthur Gordon Pym.
Thank you. I suck with remember name.
Yeah, Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah.
Whatever.
Which interesting is that, which funnily enough, influenced Mountains of Madness.
Yes, everything related to Antarctica, I think, is almost based on this early works.
It's been
written in
Lovecraft even uses Tekalili, doesn't he, for the piping of the Shoggoths, which is it originally in the narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket.
Yes. Yeah. I've just finished it, and seriously, this is freaking crazy. But he left it to such a cliffhanger, and you can't tell what's happening there.
I read it not that long ago. About 6 months ago, I read it, and I was just like, "This is just brilliant."
Yes, and I know there's a lot of bad reviews because it's too wordy, it's too descriptive, and all.
People, it's purple. It's too purple. It takes too long to get going. It's like
it's a narrative.
Yeah,
it's how it's supposed to sound like.
That's the whole point of it.
Yes. I mean,
it's basically like the travelogue of this sailor that all this shit happens to. It's just there's fucking mutinies and God knows what, and
Guy survived a mutinery. He survived a whole trip to an indigenous whatever. Savage island, and another mutinery, and I mean. He was on a boat alone, and with the other guy, I can't remember his name. And with all the sea and the strange things happening, it's freaking awesome. Seriously. And
it's a
this is the
seriously
point.
underrated book. It's a seriously underrated book, in my opinion.
Oh,
One of Poe's best, but not many people know about it. I mean, because obviously everybody knows Murders in the Rue Morgue, and everybody knows.
No, considering if you put along with modern works, no, it doesn't stand with modern works. Because
no, but that's not. Nor should it.
It's not.
I mean,
it's not the point, because modern works are fast,
yeah.
fast action, fast pace, and action, and we don't want description. We don't care about it. We just want action. Something like candy reading or something already smashed and
yeah. It's just totally do. I mean, it is of its time, but I like that. I mean, because I like reading old stuff, and if I want to read something modern, I'll read a modern book. If I want to read something that isn't modern, I'll go back to like Poe, and Arthur Macken's another one of my favorites.
Yes,
like
almost all my reading date from
like the Great God Pan. I mean,
early 20th century.
Yeah, I mean, like the Great God Pan, in my opinion, is still one of the best horror stories ever written. But I can imagine that, like, to a very modern thinking reader, they'd be like, God, this is slow. But that's the point.
Of course, it's the point. This is where the weird builds.
Yeah,
you can do a weird or a cosmic horror tale with fast-paced action and all. You must describe what's around the guy. How is he seeing it? How is he feeling it?
Yeah,
that's the whole point. He's alone or very limited.
Very limited cast.
Yes, exactly. And anyway, I can't write with a lot of characters. I don't know what to do with them. So 1, 2, 3. That's
well, I think that's the thing with the cosmic horror. It is like if you look at all the classics, like the Great God Pan and the Willows and things like that, and Mountains of Madness. Because even though there is a lot of people, you only really interact with two, and it's the same with the Willows and things like that. There's two people.
Yep.
Because that way they can describe how they're feeling to each other, but it doesn't. It doesn't take away that isolation. And then when one of them goes missing or whatever, it's just like, or goes bonkers, it's just like,
yes,
the terror comes in. Yeah.
Even when I think, an example, your story, the spiffing, there's, I won't say a lot of characters, but around what?
There's a fair few, but most
characters.
Yeah, something like
6,
that. Yeah.
But you found a way to isolate them, so they are always in terror.
Yeah. Well, that was the whole point. That was kind of the point I had in it. The reason there is so many characters is because I had these set pieces in my head that I wanted to do. So I needed a certain amount of people to do that. And I was just like, right, well, they're going to be off that way. They're going to be off that way. And it's all going to come to a head here. Because I kind of visualized things in my head before I started doing it, and I was just like, right, I want that, I need that to happen, so they have to get from there to there somehow. And that's kind of how I write. I just sort of go, right, well, there you go. And,
I'm pretty sure you already have an idea of the end of the story before you even start writing it, and you build a story around that ending.
Yeah, I mean, 9 times out of 10, that's what I get, is I'll get an ending.
I do exactly
and I'll go, right. Yeah, and I'll
build a story around that
writing.
ending. Yeah. I want it to end that way.
Yeah, and then I'll just start writing. I don't know what's gonna happen in the middle. I don't. I'll figure it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was
I know
the
where
thing
I'm ending and where I'm starting, and that's it.
Yes, and most of my stories are written the same. I know the ending. I know how I want it to finish. How can I lead the story to that point? And that was the whole thing with 6 Days to Hell. I knew exactly how I wanted it to end. Finally.
Yeah.
And in fact, I had already a pretty good idea. I wanted to unfurl all stories, so it went pretty good. Currently, I'm reading William Oxen Hope.
Ah,
Yeah.
what, House of the Borderlands?
House on Borderlands. Yeah, I'm reading.
That's another classic. Yeah.
Yeah,
I read that not long ago, actually. Yeah.
The Boats of the Glencarry.
Yeah.
It's you read it yet?
No.
No.
No, that one no.
It's another sea adventure story, but gone wrong.
Yes. Nice.
So I have a fascination with the sea adventure to take where we left it earlier, but
yeah,
Evan, it's tiring because I have a freaking head of water, but and I finished reading The Terror by Dan Simons, and I was obsessed with Antarctica and Antarctic travel to start with. So
yes,
this story, I needed to read it. I needed to read At the Mountain of Madness, Poe's story, and this one felt like I need to read it. And I'm about halfway through it, and it's written in a very archaic style.
Yeah,
like early 80s.
Yes.
It's hard to read for native English. For non-native.
Yeah,
Holy
yeah.
crap.
I can imagine because
it's a great story. It's a great story, seriously, with very long sentences and comma. Oh, comma. How many comma can you count in?
Yeah.
The House on
that
the
was the
Borderlands?
style back then, wasn't it? Really long sentences and long fucking commas everywhere.
It's endless, but it's the way people wrote by the time.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean that's just how it was, you know, and it usually takes me when I pick something up like that. It'll take me a few pages to wrap my head around it. It'll take me a few pages to or a chapter or a couple of chapters or something to get my head into that kind of reading again. Because obviously when you read a lot of very modern stuff, again, like we've said, it is all very short, snappy sentences. And,
exactly.
You know, so it takes a while to get into that sort of long, meandering prose, you know.
But it's great. It's
really rewarding, isn't it, when you get into it?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. To read it, it's like, I don't know, language at its best.
Yeah. Well, I think that about like Lovecraft and stuff like that. I mean, because I've seen because obviously you look at reviews and stuff on Amazon and stuff, and you'll get people saying, overlong and bloody blah, bloated prose and purple and all the rest of it. I think some of that stuff is absolutely beautiful, like the way it's written. Even when he's describing graveyards and stuff in like Pickman and things like that, but the way it's done is like
that's what
Lovecraft
starts a story always with a few sentence, paragraph, and pages of weird description, and that's what hooks me. Me instantly, exactly like Poe when you read what's that story again? It's about a house and
what, the Fall of the House of Usher?
Exactly.
Yes.
When the guys come to the house and he describes how we're seeing it, wow.
Yeah.
Man, this is great.
Mm.
How can you not be hooked by a book with such great description?
Yeah, well, that's how I feel about Arthur Machen as well, because it's like in his one of his classics was The White People, about the people that live in the hills and all that, right? And his descriptions of the Welsh countryside and how bleak it is, it there's pages of this stuff, but I'm just hooked because it just drags you into it. It's just
it's
like
vivid. It's
it's I can see it, man. It's just like, you know. And then when something happens, it's like Jesus, you know. I think the best, like the masters of that kind of thing are people like that who will do these things and suck you in almost to a false sense of security. And then all of a sudden, out pops a Shoggoth, you know. It's just like,
of course.
Yeah, or something like that, you know. They out pops some kind of nightmare, you know. I mean, back to the Hounds of Tindalos. I mean, there's a lot of like at the beginning of that, it's very pseudo-scientific.
Yes.
The guy who's experimenting with this drug, right? And he's
Chinese drug, I think.
And he's talking to his friend, isn't he? And it's all very, very pseudo-scientific and almost like the Great God Pan. Like wanting to see beyond the veil, and you know, and that was a big thing back then. You know, I mean, seances and table tipping and all that. It's just
What marked me about that story was when the guy entered the apartment and he described how archaic the guy is.
Yes.
It hooked me instantly. And when he was talking about his trip afterward, taking the drugs, and he saw dinosaurs and all, and was like, this is freaking genius.
Well, that's kind of similar, like with Hope Hodgson with House on the Borderlands.
Yes.
That weird voyage he goes on.
Yes, far in the future or even in the past.
And it's like, is it in his head? Is it what? It's like goes through like smoke in a fucking mirror and all this.
This is freaking genius, man. It's the House on Borderland is probably one of my favorite books at all. My ultimate favorite is The Exorcist.
Right. Cool. Yeah.
The way this guy wrote it, the whole story. It's man, I can't even start. It's perfect. It's the movie influenced me a lot.
Yes.
Even as a musician.
I was going to ask you about that actually. Yeah, because you were a musician, weren't you, for a while?
I was a musician.
Yeah.
I am not anymore.
All right.
No, there's a thing about me. I like to try different things. And I was probably 11 years old, 10 years old. And I first heard my first metal song was Fear Factory. This was the first band I ever listened to.
Really?
Yeah.
Demanufacture was an amazing album.
Demanufacture. And it was like, okay.
That was a great album, man. I loved that album.
Wow.
I loved it. Yeah. I bought that when it came out. Because, I mean, I got into them before that. I got their first album, Soul of a New Machine.
A little bit more death metal.
Yeah. But I was really into I was really into industrial metal and industrial rock and things like that. I mean, that was kind of my thing at that point. And I got into it because I was a big fan of Godflesh.
Yeah.
And one of my mates, he actually had a record shop in my hometown. He actually goes, "You like that Godflesh and all that kind of stuff, don't you?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I'll try that." And it was a cassette of Soul of a New Machine. And then I remember when Demanufacture came out, I saw the video to Replica on MTV, like Headbangers Ball or something. And I was just like, oh my God, that's fucking amazing.
Mr. Burton.
Man, that bloody double kick pedal and everything. It was just like, whoa.
The double kick was insane.
Yeah.
The opening song, wow, with the kind of factory sounds and the machines and all. Wow. Yeah.
That's what I loved about it. It was
my first take with metal music ever.
Right. Excellent.
Ever.
It's Yeah, it was like music made by Terminators. It was just
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, because that's how, like, with all the clanking machines and everything, and the keyboards and everything, it was a bit like the Terminator soundtrack.
Yes, and it was tight. It sounded cold. If it even makes sense, but it sounded cold, tight, machine-like. It was raw. It was perfect. And
it was.
Mr. Burton's vocal was awesome.
Yeah, and because I mean, what I liked about him was the fact that he could 1 minute he'd be growling his ass off like a crazed dog, and then he had that baritone, which was just beautiful.
Unfortunately, he couldn't make it in show, but not this good. But it's a thing that happens often, and it happens often with this kind of singer who keeps switching between growls and clean singing. And there's a lot of older singer like Michael Ackerfeld from Opeth who can switch between growls and all.
Yes, there's another band I've seen live. I saw Opeth on the. I saw them. When was it? I think it was when they were touring Blackwater Park.
Oh, dang, man. I saw that show. And it was probably the best show ever.
And then I saw them after when they did that acoustic. They did an acoustic show in London. Was it? Oh, what was it called? Was it Damnation?
Damnation.
That's it. Damnation. That was amazing as well.
Yeah. Window pane and all, and
window pane. That's
yes. Fun fact: I played in a tribute band for many years.
Did you? Excellent. Nice one, man. They're a stunning band.
Yeah.
They're a stunning band.
Man, Blackwater Park, Still Life.
Still Life.
What?
And what was the other one I really liked? When the Drapery Falls.
Oh man, Drapery Falls, Blackwater Park.
Yeah, God, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely superb. I'm gonna have to listen. I'm gonna dig that out in a bit. Actually, I'm gonna have a listen to that later. It's a bloody brilliant album.
Yeah. That was one of my first take in a progressive metal band. I knew Dream Theater and all, but I needed something a little bit more punchy, and Opeth was just perfect. And
I can't get into Dream Theater. I just can't get into it. It's just
there's album I can two album I can dig into, and
it's just fret wank to me. It's just
it's a bit cheesy and catchy.
It just bores the shit out of me.
I've never been into power metal and heavy metal.
No, I'm not. No. I can't. It does nothing for me.
I understand.
Well, I got into Opeth through because I'm a huge fan of Paradise Lost and My Dying Bride. I'm a really big fan of them bands, right? And again, it was like, in the gothic metal stuff, and it was like, again, it was a friend was just like, and I think it was Orchid, the album Orchid he gave me.
Orchid
again. I had it on a cassette in my car, and I was just like, this is brilliant.
Orchid by Opeth was probably more of a mixture of black metal and death metal.
Because it was one of their earlier ones. It reminded me more of My Dying Bride's earlier stuff.
Yeah,
when they were more death metal. As opposed to where they went, which I love, with all the bloody violins and fucking all the rest of it. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Yes. And then
Misery.
End of the world. Chaos.
It's brilliant.
And then I discovered technical death metal and everything that tend to be more extreme, and that's probably the genre of metal I listen the most.
Right. Yeah.
And I had a band called the Solinaris, and it was experimental, technical death metal, and
cool.
It was kind of weird. We had a song with a saxophone and all.
Nice.
It was weird.
I mean, like I said, I'm a massive fan of industrial, man. It's all about experimentation. It's all
Yes.
fucking
Yeah.
tape loops and all this kind of shit
Yes.
going on. I love all that stuff, man. I mean, I'm a big fan of people like Einstein and Neubauten and all that kind of stuff, where it's all like people playing music on fucking pipes and
Yes.
angle grinders and fucking all that
Music
kind
of the
shit.
world.
Yeah. I love
honestly,
all
I was in Montreal like 3 weeks ago on a vacation with the family, and we were on the
I think that's why I've had it in my head you were from Montreal, because I think I saw you saying you were in Montreal. So
yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
why. Yeah.
Yes. Whatever. We were walking back from the Vieux Port, whatever, and we crossed the street, and there was a band playing some kind of Peruvian music.
Nice.
And that was so nice. A few years ago, I had a trip, and I listened to a lot of Peruvian music, Peruvian music, which today is inspired a lot by not Mexican, but Spanish music. A lot of Spanish influence in it, and it's so good. And
when I was at school, because I did music when I was at school, I actually did gamelan. I went on a trip, right, to this place where they did the Javanese gamelan, you know, with all the different fucking bells and all that.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was amazing. It's one of the best experiences of my life. It was like the proper guys teaching us how to do it, right? Oh man, it was incredible. It's mind-melting stuff.
Yes,
I use a lot of musical cues almost in my stories.
Yes.
And I like to like the hollow bell sound and all that kind of thing. And you know,
tubular
like the Tibetan bells and all that kind of stuff. But it's just I mean, you describe that, it instantly puts you in a sort of mood, doesn't it? You know,
the mood, exactly. And I'm pretty sure you have a song for every story you write, or a specific one, a sound or whatever.
I do
something in particular.
Yeah, I do.
I do exactly the same. When I was writing, I don't know, 6 Days to Hell, I was listening to a lot of Max Richter. I don't know if you know the guy. Did you ever see? Damn it! What's the series name? The name of the series, and he wrote the entire soundtrack. Damn! Can't remember. I mean, seriously, it's annoying. I can't remember names.
This is all right. You've been at work all day, man.
I couldn't remember the name. Even if my life depended on it, I can't remember them. But anyway,
no, it's all right.
Is a minimalistic composer.
Right.
So long sequences of strings and not much keyboard. It's always made with a real orchestra. So long sequences. It's slow. It's heavy. It's
I mean, again, I love that kind of thing.
There's also what's his name? Whatever. I will write you a list of of people to listen to. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
It's like one of my favorite composers is I don't know if I'm saying it right. Akira Yamayoka. He's the guy who did the Silent Hill scores for the video games.
Okay. Serious stuff there.
Oh, mate, yeah. Serious shit. I've got the soundtracks, and I had them on when I was writing something a while ago, and I was just like, oh, this is going to be fucking dark.
These guys are seriously underestimated.
Yeah.
Video game composer. They write so many awesome stuff, but they don't have necessarily the money to I don't know, to record it, to hire a real orchestra, whatever. So they they depend on keyboards and
yeah, but I mean,
orchestra
again,
sound banks.
There's no real difference between what he's doing
No.
with that and what a lot of the bands I listen to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, it is an industrial soundtrack. It is. I mean, there's a lot on that. There's a lot of like scraping metal and
Yes,
clanking stuff, and it's very rhythmic.
Yeah,
It's almost
take an example,
tribal,
Cradle of
isn't it?
Filth.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of hatred toward this band, but hey, listen to the early stuff. They're great.
Definitely.
They're freaking great, seriously. And even first, Dimmu Borgir, Dimmu Borgir.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, same kind of black metal band, and
No, Dimmu Borg. I can't pronounce that either. Dimmu Borgir.
Whatever.
Dimmu Borgir. I don't know. I know
you
who you
them.
mean.
Their first album, there was so many great songs on it, and there was really experimental. And I think the 90s
They're another one
was
I've
a perfect
seen.
period for that.
They were at some festival that I was at. Yeah. Because I remember, because they were on somewhere on the card below Ministry. Yeah. And I remember seeing them and going, it's not really my thing, but I was going, fucking hell, they're good at it. You know?
They wrote seriously good stuff. Seriously. But yeah, a lot of hatred. They're told to be commercial. How can you be commercial doing black metal? I can't even.
There's no such fucking thing as commercial
possible?
black metal.
Is it playing on the radio? I don't know. No.
That'd be fucking hilarious if it was, wouldn't it? You know, it's like Kylie Minogue and then Dimmu Borgir. Could you imagine?
Yes.
I can't see that happening somehow.
There's a kind of aftertaste in my mouth, and no, it's not. No.
It ain't gonna work, is it? It ain't gonna work. It'd be really funny if it did, though. It's the sort of shit I would do if I was if I was a radio DJ. That's the sort of shit I would do. You know, like John, I don't know if you know him over there, but John Peel was the guy over here, man. And he had it like his show, and he would play all this really random, obscure crap on it, and it was brilliant. But that's what I would do. I'd like, here's what's currently at number one, and here's
Make
something that's good.
Brutal.
Yeah, and here's something vicious and horrible. Have some throbbing gristle, you fuckers.
Yes, it doesn't belong there. That's why I put it there.
Yeah.
I make a list and send it to you with a lot of bands, not necessarily obscure, but obscure. And neo-classic.
Do it. I'll send you. I'll do the same, man. Because I mean,
I'm pretty sure you will love them. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Do so, because I'll do the same. I'll send you some stuff as well. Like,
cool.
Yeah, that I think you'll appreciate. Yeah, like I say, I listen to a lot of. So obviously I'm a DJ as well, so I get sent stuff. So it's like my like fucking terabytes worth of like crap that people send me, and some of it's great and some of it isn't. But I've got to weed through it. You know what I mean? So I've got a lot. I know a lot of really obscure stuff.
Very underground in it. So that's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, yeah. The goth scene hasn't been popular since fucking 1986. You know what I mean? It's been underground since then. So yeah.
Always underground.
Yeah,
Stay underground.
Yeah.
Underground is a thing, I guess.
Definitely.
That way.
Definitely.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So, right, what are you working on at the minute then, mate? Before we start wrapping this up?
Chris Banner, Secret Call. If you're working on too.
Yes, I know that one, yeah.
Yeah, seriously. I was working on a project, a novella I wanted to send to Erie River for our calls That's
Oh, yeah,
already
yeah, yeah. That
passed.
call they did last month. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and I totally missed it, and life being life, so
It
I missed
happens,
it.
doesn't it? It happens. Yeah.
But yes, I'm working on it. And it's part of a not a share world, but world I build. Something like yours with
Yep.
how do you call your neural laptop or
Yeah,
your
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
something like that, and mine is called the Elder God. So
Nice. Beautiful.
it's all about a kind of shadowy shadowy presence or god or entity.
Love it.
I can't talk a lot about this because I'm
Yeah,
working
no,
on
no,
it
no,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
But Monterre and At the Gate to the Underworld, which is due in September with Black Air Press, both share this world too. And
right.
I want to write a whole collection of works like Lovecraft did, like you do, and
yeah, because all my stuff is linked somehow.
And, yes, and when I was reading A Creeping Void, I remember I told you I'm working on something similar with the Void.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Is that what you were asking me about, like isolated villages?
Yes, exactly. Yes. I have a vision, an idea, and I want a house on the cliff, and I wanted woods and forest or valley
and a lighthouse, and
yes, and I liked all the link you sent me. I watched.
Yeah, I mean, I just like here's a bunch of stuff. I mean, a lot of those places I sent you are places I've been, so I was like, oh right, there's that one, and then
I wasn't sure there was such places in UK, but it looks like there was.
If you get like the Welsh coast and the Scottish coast and the coast of Ireland, very much. It was like Highlands and all that. And like, if you get on the Outer Hebrides and Orkney and all that, and it's all just cliffs with houses on the perched precariously on the top of them.
And I really I watched them all on a Google Map, and I searched a lot, and I was like, yeah. Even if I don't necessarily recall the place in the story, it gives me an idea, a specific vision of the entire thing.
I do that actually. That's something I do if I'm thinking of something, like spiffing, for example. I had in my head what kind of place I wanted, so I googled like British manor houses. So I went and did like an image search, and I was looking at all these different places, and I was like, that one. It's like that one.
Yes, and the descriptions were so well done that it was like you were there. I was there, and I was like among the party, and it was like a clue game, or I don't know. It was so nice. It was nice, seriously.
Yeah.
It was, and the way you wrote it, I feel like it could have published, I don't know, along a Lovecraft story in a magazine back in the time and back in the days, and dang, it would have had its place there.
Yeah, I think that for me is what I always try. I want to get the feel of it more so than anything else, because that's what I love, that old pulp feel.
Yeah,
that's what I aim for.
The pulp feel of the story.
Yeah. That for me is the most important thing, is how it feels.
It's not this easy to catch and to understand what it is. What's that pulp thing is?
Yeah.
I couldn't even describe it, but it's how it's written, how you read it, how the story unfolds, and
how it makes you feel, and it's I think
some people call it cheap or whatever, but no, it's great.
No. Yeah, I totally. Great. Yeah, I'm the same. It's like I'm pulp and proud. I've said that before.
Yeah,
pulp and proud. Because I mean, that's what I like reading. It's what does it for me. I don't have the pretensions to be literary, because it's just not what I read, you know.
Yep.
It's just, you know, I read stuff like you would find in weird tales in the 1930s, you know, and that's what I want my stuff to be like. But you know, I mean, yeah. So,
I think you do great, really great.
Thank you.
I think you really got the whole essence of writing pulp and publish it with today's standards. If it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think you do really great. Seriously,
thank you.
I really love reading your stories, and I remember one I liked very much was Lockdown R2. No, sorry, no. Airy River. It calls from the sky.
On a Wing and a Prayer.
Yeah, and a Wing and a Prayer. Yes, that one.
Nice.
I really liked it. Really dig it. And
that's really funny because that was one of the things that took me a lot longer than most because of all the research I had to do about fucking World War II airplanes.
Yes, but that's what's
like,
great
the amount of research I had to do for that story.
You do need to do this research because it wouldn't make sense otherwise.
Yeah.
And that's
because you know that there's going to be somebody sitting there who will go, that wasn't the engine that they had in a Messerschmitt. You know?
That's not how it worked.
Yeah. You know what I mean? There's going to be some smart ass somewhere who's going to say, oh, that's not how it was made.
That's crap. You don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. You know it had happened.
Yeah. I was there.
Yeah. I saw it.
I was in a Messerschmitt myself.
When a giant ice monster appeared.
It makes me think of I don't know if you ever saw this. It's manga. Yeah. Captain Orlok. No. I'm gonna share you a link of it.
Oh, do so. Yeah.
Captain Orlok, and there's about 4 or 5 series around this character, which is a space pirate.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, it's freaking awesome. And I remember a story in Captain Orlok 84, and one of his ancestors was in the Wehrmacht, and
yeah,
and he was involved in World War II, and there's a sequence where he faces a kind of extra dimensional monster around a range of mountains, and you will.
That sounds amazing.
Seriously, it's awesome.
Yeah, send me a link. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is with Japanese, and back in time,
Yeah. Yeah. What can you do?
Can't always be on the good side of the line.
No, this is very true. Yeah, this is true. This is very true. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent then. Thank you for coming on tonight, mate. This has been brilliant. Yeah, you'll have to come on. You'll have to come on again when you have your next thing comes out. We'll have a chat about that.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Excellent. Yeah. So, right, you people, lovely people at home, thank you for watching. And if you want to check out Mr. Giles's website, that is www.elgilesauthor.com. There will be graphics, but you know, I love the cardboard, man. Lo-fi.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that's elgilesauthor.com. You also follow him on his Facebook page, on his Facebook author page, which is facebook.com/elgilesauthor.
man. I love it.
No expense spared. It's an Amazon box. In fact, I think it's what that turned up in.
Shouldn't throw them in the basket in the first time. Use them. That's a good way to use them.
Recycling, man.
Recycle what? Oh, that's a thing. Okay. Have a good evening, sir.
Yeah, excellent, mate. Yeah, thank you very much for coming on. I hope you all enjoyed it at home. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you all soon. Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Take care.
That was great.